From Alachua, Florida, I'm Amrita-Keli.
I'm Kishor.
And I'm Amrita. Welcome to Nectar Talks, from the heart of New Raman-Reti, the largest Hare Krishna community in North America.
And the home of thousands of Bhakti Yoga practitioners. In our ongoing series of live interviews, we explore a range of spiritual topics, introducing you to inspirational community members and guest speakers with diverse backgrounds and experience.
Like bees searching for nectar, we seek to extract pearls of wisdom from how they live their lives and the spiritual lessons they can impart to us and our listeners.
If you're seeking nectar, look no further. All right.
Let's get started.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Nectar Talks, episode 27. So today I have with me two very dear friends, actually from our Nectar Talks team, Krishna Kishor Prabhu and Madhuryalila Prabhu. And we're going to be starting a newer initiative in Nectar Talks where we are going to be highlighting community programs which are here to benefit the devotees around us and even the larger community surrounding Alachua. Recently, I felt very fortunate to do an interview with the devotees behind VIRA, the Vaishnava International Relief Association, and that was sort of posted separately on their YouTube account. But it was really inspiring to hear about what they're doing, especially in relationship to Ukraine. And so we'd like to get them back on the show and highlight VIRA as a community program and as a global program, really, which is impacting New Raman-Reti a lot right now, actually. Recently, we had Sudharma Prabhu talking about Hare Krishna Community Radio, which is also a local project that has international impact. And so now, today, we're going to be talking about Southcare. So I'm coming to you as a host, but like many of you, I have a lot of questions about what Southcare is and how it's reaching out in our community. And my friends here have all the answers. So we're just going to have sort of an informal conversation and dive into the different programs that are involved and learn about how, what is our goal today? Our goal today is to get educated on what Southcare is so that we can take ownership, so that we can feel involved if we feel called to volunteer, to support, to come together in some way as a part of these teams, these efforts, then we can extend the hand of Devotee Care even further to one another in New Raman-Reti. So I'm going to turn it over to Madhuryalila, perhaps, and we can start talking a little bit about what Southcare is and how it started.
Thank you, Amrita-Keli. I appreciate your being on the show with you and Kishor. So good to be on this end, usually on the other end. So yeah, certainly a lot of people want to know what Southcare is. Well, our philosophy, our mission statement, Southcare's mission statement is to enhance the quality of life and to maintain the dignity of its community members through personalized supportive care and wellness programs.
So you had mentioned that there are sort of 3 branches to that right now. Can you tell me what those are?
Yeah, Kishor, would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, please? I'm gonna jump in, and I'm actually gonna add something to what you said in your introduction, because you were talking about the local programs, and you mentioned VIRA, it being also a global program, and I wanted to also express that this program really kind of goes under that saying, what is it? Think globally, act locally, right? Because the idea of doing this project is that we create, framework that can be replicated all around the world in our different communities. And So what, she asked me to explain about the three programs that are happening right now. For those who didn't know, so a Southcare is like an umbrella, right? We've put a lot of work, especially Madhuryalila. She has put in a lot of work to do all the paperwork, red taping, like, I mean, painstakingly, like, I mean, I've seen her been a part of the process for over a year. I think we're going to 2 years now. And the reason she's doing all of that is so it can be like legitimate. It can receive grants, even it can work with insurance companies, so we can offer services and insurance. Our services are covered by insurance, but we're gonna get there soon. And so Southcare is a legal entity, a nonprofit organization, and it's like an umbrella that has all these different projects under it, so they can also benefit from all of the legalities that Southcare will be taking care of. So the three existing programs, if you didn't know, there are already 3 active programs under Southcare. So there's end of life care, Devotee Care, and Krishna Meals on Wheels. So and actually, I'm going to bring it back to you, Madhuryalila. If you can explain of how those 3 are interconnected, how they're connected, and of course, I can also add how individually we want to see them grow in their own kind of life form, I guess you could say.
Yes, certainly. We see devotee care and end-of-life care on a continuum, with devotee care being on one side and end-of-life care being on the other. The devotees that we're serving in the devotee care, they require intensive care for some episodic challenges they're having with their health care. They might need doctor's visits, or somebody to sit with them, to go to the pharmacy, things like that. So these devotees are part of devotee care, but often what happens is they progress, and they're if they get well, that's great, but if they don't, then they progress and they end up on the other, they tread towards the other side of the spectrum of end-of-life care. So we offer the same kinds of services, but they're called differently. So we might do respite care, doing vigils, and being advocates for them, and then Meals on Wheels really fits into all these, because these are the same people and their families that often need the meals, and the meals are delivered to them. So Meals on Wheels is an independent program, but it also is a very supportive program for devotee care and end-of-life care. So we see it as a whole package, and not separate programs on their own.
That's amazing. The first question that actually comes to mind is, do you know roughly how many individuals are receiving service from Southcare in any of these 3 groups?
Yes, devotee care is headed up by Mother Sukada, with the help of Mother Rasa and Mulika. And there's a lot of devotees who help them. We're all part of the same program. So there's many devotees in the community who are currently getting services and have gotten services for many, many years, because it's a very old program. But they've come under the umbrella of Southcare recently. And with the end of life, there are also, in the last year and a half, we've lost many devotees. And we weren't called Southcare then, but the end of life care was very supportive in their care. I can mention a few names. Shankar Prabhu was one. Shamali was another one.
Gaur Hare, right? As well.
Gaur Hare Prabhu, yeah, we did a lot of work with him.
Didn't Gaur Hare Prabhu, didn't he receive Meals on Wheels? Like that program
yes.
became active, and he was able to.
Yes.
So can you explain a little bit about Meals on Wheels, like kind of I know you're working with ALA and yeah, like how it works and who's qualified and all of that.
Well, we started the Meals on Wheels because there were devotees in the community, like you said, Gohari Prabhu being one, and there were a couple others that needed meals. They couldn't get out, they couldn't shop, they couldn't prepare meals. They were eating out of cans or frozen meals, and not getting proper prasadam. So we decided to, and with the help of the ALA, to bring them prasadam. So somebody was delivering it to them, and then what we decided, it worked out so well that we decided to, over the summer, partnership with Krishna Lunch. So Krishna Lunch has been going on since the 70s, but only last year they got into delivering meals to some of the local people who really needed it, and they were not just devotees, but also the local community members. So we thought, well, we could start this there. So currently they're serving 30 meals a day to twice a week to local people in the community, and some devotees who need it, and it's being delivered to them, so they don't have to leave home. And then we wanted to do the same program in Alachua. And so currently we have about 6 devotees who are homebound, elderly, and actually one who was having a difficult pregnancy and is postpartum now. So we're supporting them in meals. It's actually open to anybody who wants it. It doesn't have to be, to based on need. It can be self-pay as well, private pay. So right now we're doing that. We have another eight or so devotees in waiting, because we're just behind on the funding aspect. So that's how Meals on Wheels are. We see how Meals on Wheels supporting the community for those in need, and then also hopefully as we get funding, reaching out to the greater community, the non-devotee community, to make network with them and to let them see, oh yeah, these Hare Krishnas are actually doing something nice in the community. They're supporting our elderly or our ones who are in need, in financial need or health care needs. So we would like to do that. That's our vision, is to really do
that's actually an important point, because we do, charity starts at home, and we do want to start within our community, taking care of our devotees. And it's, of course, it's not easy, because once you get in your own circle of life, kids, school, work, sadhana, projects, traveling, whatever, it's and there's such a big community, it's hard to be personally involved. So what I really appreciate about this program, that what we're trying to create, is a system that if you can't personally, offer some seva, but your intention, your heart is there, you can support Southcare, you can support the program, and it will help, because just like she was explaining, we have people who want more Meals on Wheels. There is a program on the website. If you see Southcare, south-care.org, it explains a little bit about each program, and you can see the logos, and there is in the Meals on Wheels, like how do you say, a little bit of like the price points, what the donations and this, and there's links so you can donate.
Registration forms there. A registration form. Mm-hmm.
Right, registration forms. So some of these programs, like she was saying, you could pay for it. You could pay for that seva, because also we have some devotees that we give them part-time jobs. Like I forget what's the devotee's name who's doing the deliveries right now, Ragatmika's husband.
No. Yeah, there's devotees who we have to hire to deliver the meals. Yeah, and then there's devotees we hire to package the meals, and a lot of steps go into that. So So
Yeah, so if you can't personally do that or come and give some food or read, or we want to create a team, volunteers of people, and even people we can support financially by getting grants and everything like that, create a self-sufficient system that if you personally can't do it, you can offer financial support. You can offer all other types of support too. Honestly, just encouragement, ideas, or if you have an idea and you're like, you know what, I can't go there, but what if I got on a phone call with somebody who's in the end of life process and I can just read to them or talk to them? There's so many aspects of, when there's a will, there's a way. And, how we're giving back to all of these devotees in our community, who have given so much to Srila Prabhupada, who have given so much to the younger generations. I mean, one way that we can give back is just in the most sweet way, actually, which is caring, and especially in those tender years and those which she was saying, it's also, the program is not just for the end of life. There's devotee care, which is just like there's someone who just gave life, who's pregnant and they needed help, but maybe they don't have the support system. And so we want to create an urgency in our community, because actually this is a little bit of private information, but we were just talking with the board members, and because we haven't been getting the funding that we need in order to move forward, we're thinking, why don't we pause on it for a little bit, do some more promotion, and then maybe in the summer or in the fall start again, because we don't want to stop. But what's really important is, so we said, you know what, let's just do a little bit more promotion. Everyone's myself, I've been busy. I just had a child, and I'm like, you know what, now I have a little more time. I want to try to help and give awareness that this exists and that you can help.
good points. And I like that point that you brought up. You can get on the phone and call somebody, because we have a lot of devotees in the community who feel very isolated, and they're very lonely. So it'd be good, somebody could just stay at home and call somebody once a couple times a week, or just to say, Hare Bol, how are you? I'm thinking about you. Or maybe around their birthdays or some holidays. The holidays are the most difficult part for these people. They become very lonely. And to offer appreciation to them. Thank you for being part of our community. Like you said, you've done so much service for us. So like that. And also the older devotees, they're getting old, right? So we really need the younger generation to start taking up the reins now, because these older devotees, they're heading up a lot of these programs, and they themselves are needing those services.
And really, this is just the beginning, because we these other programs have kind of been existing. Like end of life care was existing before the creation of Southcare. So the reason we did the creation of Southcare and did all of that, like I mentioned in the beginning, and how it happened, was that Devotee Prabhu, and the reason why the name Southcare, let me just give a little bit of a background. Devotee Prabhu, he's done a lot of programs connected to the government, and he already had this 501c3 nonprofit organization in creation, Southcare, something that he created in the past. And since it was already set up, all the paperwork was done. And also, Florida, we're starting in Florida, we're in the South, it makes sense. We can just, and how Madhuryalila was saying, why we have kind of a generic, easy to remember name that doesn't have any type of connotation, is because we do want to start within our spiritual community, but we definitely want to expand even within, first we started in the temple, then Alachua, the greater area, Gainesville and stuff like that, of creating this care for people who need it, and and beyond, because the reality is that this is just the beginning, and there's other ideas that I tried to also I got excited, I wanted to start another program. And the other program, I was thinking, it can be called Family First, because we have a lot of counselors, we have a lot of couple counseling, we have people, professionals, who are devotees in the community. But at the same time, because everyone is busy. It's I don't want to then burden someone. Can you give more of your time? People got to do jobs. So what we want to do and what we're pushing towards is being able to be covered by the insurance. So if someone has insurance, we can also give jobs to devotees within our communities who have, who are professionals, like Danya Gorangi, like Gopi Kumari. I'm sure they would also willing to, offer some seva, but we also want to offer them seva and respect their profession. And so, Devi Deva Prabhu, he was telling us, well, in order to be covered by the insurance, we have to be running for some time, like for 2 years. There has to be some activity, and then we can like apply and then be able to. So right now, what we have is, we have our 501c3, we have our website. We did apply for some grants. Madhuryalila got accepted for some grants for the Meals on Wheels program. We were able to hire Mother Ragatmika and some other devotees, which were covered by a grant. And we also got insurance for the company, Southcare. So all of the volunteers and all the workers for Southcare are covered now, by, our protected liability, protection. And so these are all the beginning phases, and we want to take steps in that direction. So down the road, then we have, why I say globally, how many devotees globally do we have that are professionals that maybe even live in Vrindavan, Mayapur, South America, Europe, different countries where they can offer their seva, through Zoom, and we can even possibly cover it with insurance, and they can also earn income. So, it's a whole thing that we really want to support the professionals. We want to support the devotees. We want to support the children and create this. So the younger generations, my children, my children's children, then already have this going and moving, and it just gets bigger.
Thank you so much. I just want to say that in conversing with people or devotees who are involved in these types of care organizations, you have such a contagious enthusiasm for what you're doing. And you can tell that, there's something powerful that's coming from extending your heart, and extending yourselves in your already busy lives to people who need it. And so it makes others of us watching want to say, like, how can we help? And so thank you so much for being enthusiastic and for being the ones who are carrying this torch, who are leading the community and trying to find ways that we can get involved, however that looks, whether in a very small way or in a larger way. I can tell that any help that we can give is appreciated and is exciting to you. So thank you for setting that example for us. And also, in terms of us giving our support, I had heard that you're scheduling a fundraiser. Is that correct? Can you tell me something about the fundraiser? When is that happening?
We were talking about in May. We were thinking, like, if the funds aren't going good, then we can kind of like anyways have to pause till May. But if they're continuing still, we'll do it in May, but we'll just have more to show in May. And we already have something to show, but we definitely want more to show. And the idea is, right now we haven't solidified exactly what we want to do, but we would love to have some, a nice dinner, some entertainment, some gift bags, and create a fundraiser to maybe launch Family First, like maybe launch another project that we want to start including, or just support what we have and strengthen it. But and also we're still in the beginning phases for those. So for those of you who are listening and you have ideas and you have something that you can give, or maybe you go to our website and you have feedback and you're like, hey, you know what, this is kind of weird. Can you please let us know? Like we want to do it in the best of the ability. We also are trying to do it in a, how do you say, like as non-sectarian as possible. because we want to get government grants. That's why we have the name Southcare. And we want to also serve not just the devotees. We're starting with the devotees. I really want to reiterate that because, you know, Devi Deva Prabhu, who has done a lot of programs for the homeless, you know, and different types of projects, he says, you know, like compassion for all the fallen conditioned souls means compassion for all the fallen conditioned souls, not just for devotees or for, no, it's for everybody. So if, you know, if we're really trying to create that mood of respecting all others, not expecting any in return, of having compassion, then, you know, we want to help those who are in need. We want to help those, you know, outside of the devotee community, anybody. So that's our goal, but of course we got to start somewhere. So we're starting at home, and we're starting, you know, baby steps, little by little. And it's not easy. And I want to highlight again all of Madhuryalila's work. I mean, I've seen you know, she's been dealing with me, so that's already a headache alone, you know. But you know, I have certain limitations that I can do, of what I can do or what I can't do, and I express it. But she, regardless, she moves forward, and I really hope to be able to give more time and energy. You know, I've already given so many hours, and I still feel like it's nothing, because there's so much to do. There's just so much to do. But you know, I also do want to mention that it has been a community effort. You know, I've been working on the website. I did the logo for Southcare and, you know, that type of stuff. But for like end of life care, Madhuryalila, she fine tuned the logo. It was who did the original art?
It was from Vaishnava's Care, and then we tweaked it.
Right, and then Bhishma Dev, I think that we hired Bhishma Dev to do the Devotee Care one, right?
Right.
And he
Right.
did the Devotee Care one, which is it's a great logo. And then Meals on Wheels, you did as well, right?
Well, also Rukmini Podar was
Rukmini,
involved with
Rukmini
that.
Podar. So it's you know, it's a community effort.
Yes.
And I think definitely, you know, I studied in the marketing field. I got my bachelor's in advertising. So, you know, I always seeing, oh, we can do better in this, we can do better in that. But, you know, it's the beginning, and there's a lot we can do, and we don't have enough hands. That's the reality. So if you do have time, or you want to volunteer in making some promotional material, some flyers, or whatever it is, you know, there's so much. So whatever you feel inspired to share, please, we're open ears and open heart.
Thank you for that, Kishore. Just wanted to bring up a couple of points, if I may add to that. First of all, we do have an advisory board as well, and about 6-7 members from our community. And you know, none of this would have been possible without everybody's support, plus the advisory board support. So it's a community project. It's not my project. It's everybody's. Everybody has had something to do with it to have it come together. Devotee Care has been there for a long time under the care of Mother Sukita and Mother Mulika and Rasa. So they've all come together, and we're hoping to just become a really cohesive organization, so that we can actually work together and not have a separatist you know, mentality that it's mine, it's yours, you know, it's the temple, it's ours, you know. So one of the questions that comes up is, why didn't you do it under ISKCON, the name of ISKCON, you know, the brand of ISKCON? Well, one thing is that we wanted to have a separate 501c3 so that we could get the broader community, non-devotee community involved. And they see our connection with ISKCON, so they can appreciate that, like our Meals on Wheels is called Krishna Meals on Wheels. So they see our connection, and they see, oh yeah, devotees are doing something for us. ISKCON's doing something for us. And also, it's just legally, it's better not to put all your eggs in one basket. So it's a protective mechanism. Organizations have separate entities so that if one is having problems and the others don't get affected. So it's a legal protective mechanism that we did this. And the volunteers, so just like any, you go to Haven or United Way or wherever you go, if you want to volunteer or community hospice, they make sure that the volunteers are vetted. So we want to follow that standard as well, so that people that we provide services to know who they're getting. They know that they've had a background check. They know that there's been an application process and that there's been some training. Those are the 3 minimum things. So we're working on that. And then, we would like to have badges for whoever is a volunteer, and then they can be, so the person who is receiving the care, they know that they're actually, legit. And the other thing I want to say is that the fundraiser at the end, not at the end, but maybe after Gaur Purnima or April or something like that, that we're trying to do it in conjunction with the Community Development Initiative group that was started a few years ago. So because we see this project also as part of community development, so we're working with them to see how we can work together and have a great event in the spring where the families can be involved, older people everybody can be involved, adults, families, children, and have a sort of what the Russian, the Ukrainian devotees did for Ukraine. Something like that. That would be a fun activity for everybody, and for the purpose of raising community consciousness, that we're in it together, and we can help each other. So it's been a pleasure to work with you, Kishor. Yeah.
Thank you both so much. How cool, how wonderful to learn about all three of these, Krishna Meals on Wheels and End of Life Care and Devotee Care. I'll say on a personal level, on Thanksgiving, I had the pleasure of, under my sister's wishes, we delivered meals to devotees on Thanksgiving who couldn't come to the temple. And that was honestly my first time being opened to the reality that devotees can't make it to the temple sometimes, or if they can make it to the temple, they may not be able to afford a meal, or there's various circumstances that we have spiritual family members living about us that like Madhuryalila Prabhu mentioned, may feel very isolated. And we have these beautiful festivals, and we have weekly gatherings, and we have programs at the temple every single day. And so in all that liveliness, people like me may forget that we have dear family members that are out there that we can connect with. So thank you very much for creating that avenue for us to do that, to really to show up for each other, to support each other. And is my understanding correct? The best way to reach you, to find out more about Southcare, to apply for Southcare services, or to support Southcare through donations would be to go to south-care.org. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And I wanted to add too, just so people feel comfortable in where their donation is going, is we are being advised by what's the CPA?
We have Greenberg, Dina Sharana.
Dina Sharana Prabhu.
Yeah.
And so he has his eye on everything, making sure everything is legitimate, everything is transparent. And so just wanted to put that out there, that we're trying to do everything, have everything to the T, so we can get support from the devotees, from the government, and yeah, and just grow. But we got to start where we're at, and we're happy where we're at, but we need help.
Yeah, and it's a real, like the Amrita-Keli you said as well, is it's a real pleasure to help devotees, and actually when you help anybody, not just devotees, but anybody, you really feel that sense of satisfaction, and that's what's driving us. You know, we're all at different stages of our life, and at my stage of life, I like to use what I've been in professionally to help devotees. So this was my way of giving back to the community, and you know, with something that I know about that I can help develop. You know.
Thank you both so much, Madhuryalila Prabhu and Krishna Kishor Prabhu. Thank you to all of the devotees. You know, we've heard that there are many of you out there who are helping Southcare and who are instrumental to its current success. So thank you all very, very much. And do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we say goodbye to our listeners?
Happy holidays.
I just hope we did I just hope we didn't miss anybody. You know, it's kind of an impromptu interview just to get the word out. So if we missed anybody, please forgive us. We value your support. We value your input, and we hope that this just grows the Southcare family even bigger.
And we look forward to the younger generation getting involved, even, you know, their 20s, or even high school students. They often need volunteer hours. So we're working on that to try to get to be an organization where people can get
community service
hours. So yeah, everybody please get involved and spread the word.
And thank you so much, Amrita, for your time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai
Jai Haribo.